The night was freezing. Inside the Moika Palace in St. Petersburg, a group of the most powerful aristocrats in Russia were trembling. They weren't shaking from the cold. They were shaking with fear. Sitting before them was a man who had just consumed enough cyanide to kill 5 elephants, yet he sat there, smiling, asking for more wine. The poison wasn't working. Panic took over. Prince Felix Yusupov drew his revolver. A bullet straight to the chest. The mad monk fell. But the nightmare wasn't over. As Felix checked the body, the eyes snapped open. He lunged, screaming like a wild beast. Who was this man? A holy healer? A sexual predator? Or the puppet master who single-handedly destroyed the Russian Empire? This is the true story of Grigori Rasputin. The desperate crown. To understand the monster, we must understand the madness of the era. Early 20th century Russia was a place of extreme contrast. Incredible wealth for the Tsar and starving poverty for the people. At the top sat Tsar Nicholas II and Empress Alexandra. They had a secret that could collapse the government. Their only son, the heir to the throne, Alexei, suffered from hemophilia. It was the royal disease. A simple bruise or nosebleed could kill the boy. The doctors were helpless. The empress was desperate. She turned to prayer and then to the occult. Enter Grigori Rasputin, a wandering peasant from Siberia. He was unwashed, illiterate, and smelled like a goat. But he possessed something dangerous: charisma. In 1905, he was introduced to the royal court. When the doctors failed, Rasputin stepped in. The miracle and the manipulation, what happened next, is a matter of historical debate. Rasputin prayed over the bleeding boy, and miraculously, the bleeding stopped. How? Some say hypnosis. Modern historians suggest a simpler theory. Doctors were giving the boy aspirin, a blood thinner. Rasputin simply kicked the doctors out. By doing nothing, he saved the boy. To Empress Alexandra, it was a miracle from God. She believed Rasputin was a living saint. She gave him access to everything. Secrets, appointments, the very soul of Russia. But Saint Grigori had a dark side. While he preached purity by day, he lived in sin by night. He believed that to be truly saved, one must first sin heavily and then repent. Rumors spread like wildfire. People whispered that he was sleeping with the empress. While likely untrue, the damage was done. The Russian people saw a dirty peasant running their country. The fall of the empire, 1914. World War I begins. Russia is being slaughtered by Germany. The Tsar leaves for the front lines, leaving the empress and Rasputin in charge of the capital. It was a disaster. Rasputin fired competent ministers and hired his incompetent cronies. The economy collapsed. People were starving. They blamed the German woman and her mad monk. The aristocracy realized the truth. If Rasputin lives, the monarchy dies. Prince Felix Yusupov, the richest man in Russia, decided to take matters into his own hands. The final night, back to that cold December night, Yusupov lured Rasputin to his palace with the promise of meeting his beautiful wife. He fed him cakes laced with cyanide. An hour passed. Nothing happened. Rasputin just complained of a tickle in his throat. Yusupov, in a panic, went upstairs, grabbed a gun, came back, and shot him. As we saw, Rasputin revived and attacked. He fled into the courtyard snow. Perishkevich, another conspirator, fired 2 more shots. One hit his kidney, the other his brain. They tied his hands, wrapped him in a heavy cloth, and threw him into the icy Neva River. When the body was found days later, his hands were raised, as if he had tried to claw through the ice. Conclusion: Rasputin was dead. But he left behind a chilling prophecy. Shortly before his death, he wrote to the Tsar, "If I am killed by common assassins, you have nothing to fear. But if I am murdered by your relations, none of your family will remain alive for more than 2 years." Less than 2 years later, the Russian Revolution swept the country. The Tsar, the Empress, and all 5 children, including little Alexei, were executed in a basement in Yekaterinburg. The prophecy was fulfilled. Grigori Rasputin, a healer, a charlatan, or the catalyst that changed the world? What do you think? Was he truly evil, or just a scapegoat for a failing empire? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.